Hello and welcome to J's Gaming. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell. Now off to the video. Hello everyone and welcome back to J's Gaming. We are here with we are here with a new series that I thought of actually in my sleep last night. It kind of kept me awake for a little bit. It is a versus series. What unit is better? I picked two races. I picked two races and have them fight each other. But like I pick one unit out of the race. So I start on like a tier 1 and work my way from tier 1, tier 2, until I've had every single unit from both sides fight each other. And then, we just see which unit is better. And we do one fight per episode. So they're going to be like a little short, 10-minute, at most 10 minutes. They fight each other. I'm in control of both players, and we just fight each other. Right now, what I am for today's. Oh, right. We cannot. I looked. I cannot find a way, if there is a way, to just have the units fight each other. Just have the units fight each other. You have to actually start a whole world and do it in a whole world. And so, yeah. So the first two that I picked is going to be the Kir'ko and the Oathbound. I chose those ones because they're my favorite. They are some of my favorites on races. And I was just kind of curious, what is going to be better, the Oathbound or the Kir'ko? Right now, I'm sitting here on the Kir'ko. Let's go ahead and start with the Kir'ko Frenzied. It's the Tier 1 core unit, the Kir'ko Frenzied. We are not going to have any mods on any of these fights. Not going to have any mods, and we're not going to have any experience. They're going to be flat-out recruits straight from the freshly spawned units. Now, the Kir'ko, they have the Rending Claws, which is a repeating attack with a stagger. So that can be quite useful, being capable of staggering a unit makes to where they won't get overwatched, and it will lower the damage. It could potentially lower damage that they could get to them. They also have the Battle Vomit, which is a short range. It's pretty much like a grenade attack. It does have a chance to apply choking, and they do have Frenzy. So every single successful attack will increase the melee damage. And so that's pretty useful. And they do have Swarm Shield. Gains +2 shielding when adjacent to friendly units with Swarm Shields. So they are more built around swarming, having multiple units. So that could be a little bit of a difficulty, that they're not built around one-on-one combat. They are kind of more built around, having a whole group of them. Now, thing is, those shields are useless in melee combat, and they too tend to want to get into melee combat. Though the Battle Vomit is also pretty useful, especially because it applies choking. And they have 50 hit points, and they start off with 2 armor. So that's not bad. And they do have 40 movement. So let's go ahead. We have found I've been looking for these guys. So let's go ahead and move them to a location so that we can have them fight each other. Now then, let's move on to the Oathbound. We are going to start with the Oathbound Paladin Aspirant. So the Oathbound Paladin Aspirant, they have the Volt Pike, which is an electric damage, high impact. So this one can also stagger a unit and cancel their Overwatch. It is a single attack doing 18 damage. So right there in melee, the kir'kko have the upper hand in damage output with the capability of doing 30 damage. The kir'kko also have, I believe, actually the same amount of hit points at 40. Same armor, same movement. Then they have also Volt Blast. It's a little bit longer range than the kir'kko's Acid Spit. So, and it does a little bit more damage as well. But it does not do damage in a giant circle. Their defense mode also does shields up, making them harder to hit and gains 2 shielding. So that's, and it cannot be flanked. So that's also pretty useful. They also have Against All Odds. The unit gains 5% evasion for each enemy within 2 hexes of itself. The Paladin Aspirant is almost the perfect foil against the Kir'ko's Frenzied, because as to where the Kir'ko's Frenzies are meant to swarm and have abilities that are useful if they have multiple units, these guys have abilities when they're fighting multiple units. So that's not bad. On top of the fact that they also have First Strike. Both these units desire to get into melee combat. Their main focus is melee combat. And the Oathbound have a little bit of an advantage being able to trigger their Overwatch before the attack unless the unit is flanked. So that could be a little bit of a difficulty because of the fact that, again, the kir'kko are meant more for swarming. A one-on-one match, though, I'm kind of leaning towards the Paladin Aspirant on a one-on-one match. One other difference, though, is they are a battle suit, so they are capable of taking battle suit mods, and some of those mods are pretty dang powerful. So let's go ahead and let's grab a Paladin Aspirant, and let's get these guys together, shall we? Alright, everyone. So, we are now right next to each other. I do need to fix a little something. The kir'kko actually have more hit points and more movement points, so they are capable of moving faster and possibly getting into combat with them, with the Paladin faster. That might help them out. We're going to go ahead and get started. And we are going to manual combat. These guys are on equal terms together, so I have no clue what's going to happen. Them being on equal terms could change things. It is always the defender first, so I am allowing the Oathbound to be the defender. And I'm thinking I'm going to put them right up here. And then give them their defense mode shields up, so that will increase their shielding as well as their armor. Or no, just their shielding. So now the kir'kko's turn. Oh, that just feels so weird. So kir'kko, we're gonna probably move you know, their goal is both their goals is to get into melee. I'm thinking I'll move them here, and we can acid splash them, which gets choking put on them. Choking will do... Choking lowers damage and accuracy. So right off the bat,
Operations
weakening them is not a bad idea. And there's a chance for Overwatch if we go into melee. We can shoot them. They have a lower chance of accuracy, though. But... come on, these both want to get into melee combat. So, let's move them into melee. And they did a little bit of damage, and they staggered. So, the kir'kko does not get to... The kir'kko don't get to do anything. Alright, so the kir'kko can... You know, the only thing we can do is use our claws. There is the Overwatch on the first hit. They are choking still, though. No, they're not choking anymore. And this has to wait for 2 more turns. So, it will Overwatch trigger Overwatch. But we are... Oh, and they staggered with their Overwatch, so we only got to do 1 hit. And the fact that our guys are solid hitters, just solid single. Oh, I think I have a feeling I know who's going to win. And this might kill him because they get to do Overwatch, and it does.
The swarm will return.
That killed, So it looks like the Oathbound Paladin Aspirant is better than the Kir'ko Frenzied. Now, sadly enough, we didn't get to use a lot of the Kir'ko Frenzied abilities. Well, actually, just one of them is we don't get to use their Swarm Shield. But thing is, though, the Kir'ko, once they are in combat, the shielding is useless. It's more useful versus shooting damage, and we did not use any of the shooting weapons for the Oathbound. We didn't shoot the Kir'ko. So, in all honesty, I'm thinking that the Kir'ko Frenzied, sadly enough, is actually weaker than the Paladin Aspirant. Now, I have a feeling, though, if we had like two Kir'ko Frenzied, and they could play off that shielding, and they're, two of them versus one, I think that might do it. Pretty much, you're going to have to outnumber the Oathbound. And it kind of looks like that's the only way to defeat an Oathbound with the Kir'ko, is you have to outnumber. Which is a Kir'ko thing anyways. They like to outnumber. In the next episode, first off, let me ask you guys, do you guys want to see our scout units? The Kir'ko Scout versus the Oathbound Scout. If you do, leave a comment down in the comment section, and hit the big thumbs up button to tell me that you guys like this series, and please subscribe to the channel to continue watching the series. We're gonna try and, I'm thinking I'm gonna keep with the Kir'ko and then just change who the Kir'ko are fighting until I've done everyone, and then I'll change the Kir'ko and we'll have the Kir'ko versus everyone, and just move on from there and just see. Actually, we'll probably keep with the Oathbound, because the Oathbound are the Oathbound. And, they're the new people, so let's see how good the new people are, shall we? Sorry about that. So yeah, if you guys did like this, though, remember to like and subscribe. Next episode, we will either be doing one of the Tier 2s. We might either do the Tier 2s, or we will do the Scouts. You guys decide in the comment section. Bye, everyone.